Your F-150 key fob can do far more than lock and unlock your truck. I'm talking about hidden capabilities built right into that small plastic device in your pocket that Ford never properly explains. Capabilities that can save you from being stranded, protect your teenager behind the wheel, cool your truck down on a scorching day, and even double the effective range of the remote signal using nothing but your own body. I have been working on Fords for over 15 years, and I still meet F-150 owners every single week who have no clue what their key fob is actually capable of. These are not aftermarket gimmicks or hacks you need special tools to perform. These are factory-engineered features Ford built into your truck and then buried so deep in the owner's manual that practically nobody finds them on their own. Today we are revealing the key fob tricks that the vast majority of F-150 owners never discover. Trick number 4 has saved me from climbing into a truck that felt like a pizza oven more times than I can count. And trick number 1 is a feature Ford installs on almost every modern F-150, yet I would estimate fewer than 5% of owners have ever activated it. These are the kind of practical, everyday tricks that will make you wonder why your dealer never mentioned them when you drove off the lot. Let's get into it. Starting your truck when the key fob battery dies. This is the trick that saves F-150 owners from expensive towing bills and locksmith calls, and almost nobody knows it exists until they are standing in a parking lot in a total panic. Your key fob battery is going to die eventually. It might last 2 years, it might last 4, but one day you are going to press that unlock button and absolutely nothing will happen. Most owners immediately assume they are stranded. They call a locksmith, they call a tow truck. They spend $100 to $300 on a problem they could have solved themselves in about 30 seconds if they knew this trick. First, you need to get inside the truck. Look at the back of your key fob. There is a small release button or sliding tab. Press it and pull. A hidden metal key blade slides right out of the fob housing. Most F-150 owners have carried this key every single day and never realized it was in there. Now walk to the driver's door. On the rear portion of the door handle, there is a small cap or cover. Pop that off and you will find a traditional keyhole underneath. Insert the metal key, turn it, and the door unlocks. Ford hides this keyhole behind a cover for aesthetic reasons, but it is there on virtually every F-150 going back years. Now you are inside the truck, but you have push-button start and a dead fob. Here is where the real secret comes in. Look at the center console area near the cup holders. On F-150 models from 2017 and newer, there is a specific slot hidden underneath a rubber insert in the cup holder closest to the center stack. Pull out that rubber insert and you will see a small recessed area designed to hold your key fob. Place the dead fob into this slot. Even with a completely dead battery, the fob still contains a passive RFID chip that does not require any power. When the fob is close enough to the reader in that slot, the truck recognizes the chip's unique signal. Now press the push button start and the engine fires up like nothing ever happened. On some older F-150 models, the backup location might be inside the center console storage bin rather than the cup holder. Check your specific model, but the concept is the same. It is simply a designated spot where the passive chip can communicate with the vehicle's receiver at extremely close range. The RFID chip in your fob never needs battery power because it is energized by the radio signal from the vehicle's reader itself. This is the same technology used in contactless credit cards and building access badges. It works indefinitely regardless of fob battery condition. This feature alone has saved countless F-150 owners hundreds of dollars in locksmith and towing fees. A replacement fob battery costs about $3 to $6 at any drugstore or hardware store. A locksmith call can run $150 or more, and a tow to the dealership could cost even more depending on distance. Keep a spare battery in your glove box or center console. When your dashboard displays the key battery low replace soon warning, do not ignore it. That warning typically gives you a few weeks of remaining life, but waiting until the fob dies completely puts you in exactly the situation we just described. Remote window control from your key fob. Here's a feature that blows people's minds every time I show it. You can roll down all the windows on your Ford F-150 remotely using just the key fob. No apps, no special equipment, just the fob you already carry. This feature is called Global Open Windows, and it has been available on most Ford F-150 models for years, but the vast majority of owners never learn about it because there is no dedicated button for it. You will not see a window icon anywhere on the fob. Here's exactly how it works. Press the unlock button on your key fob once to unlock the doors, then immediately press the unlock button again and hold it down. Within a few seconds, all the windows start rolling down simultaneously. Keep holding the button until the windows reach whatever position you want, then release. The windows stop right where you release the button. This is incredibly practical on hot days. We have all experienced it. You walk out to your truck after work or after shopping and the interior temperature feels like it is approaching 150 degrees. The steering wheel is too hot to touch. The seatbelt buckle could brand cattle. Instead of suffering through those first few minutes while the air conditioning fights to cool down a superheated cabin, you can hit the unlock button from inside your office or house. Hold it down and let all that trapped hot air escape through every window. By the time you walk to your truck, the interior temperature has already dropped significantly. The air conditioning does not have to work as hard, and you are not sitting in a furnace waiting for relief. On many F-150 models, you can also close the windows remotely using the lock button. Press lock once, then press and hold the lock button. The windows roll up automatically. This is perfect for that moment when you are already inside the house and suddenly realize you left a window cracked. Instead of walking back out, grabbing your keys and going to the truck, you just hold the lock button from wherever you are. There is one important limitation. This feature works within normal key fob range, which is typically about 30 to 50 feet. You need to be relatively close to the vehicle. It is not like remote start on equipped models that can work from several hundred feet away, but for the walk from your front door to the driveway or from the office lobby to the parking lot, it works perfectly. The remote window feature does not put any significant drain on your vehicle battery. It uses the truck's existing electrical system, and the windows have built-in detection, so they will stop if they encounter resistance. Check your owner's manual to confirm your specific model year supports this feature, as the exact button sequence can vary slightly. Most F-150s from 2015 and newer include this capability, though some base models may not have it depending on trim level and options. The chin trick that doubles your key fob range. This sounds completely ridiculous, I know, but it works, and there is actual science behind it. If you have ever been too far from your F-150 for the key fob to work, whether you are on the upper floor of a parking garage, across a large lot, or just barely out of range, you can dramatically extend the fob's effective range by holding it directly under your chin with the buttons facing outward, and then pressing the button. The fob signal can reach roughly twice as far when you do this. In other words, it doubles the effective range. This has been verified by automotive engineers, radio frequency specialists, and fact-checking organizations. Here is why it works. Your key fob is a small radio transmitter operating on ultra-high frequency radio waves. The range of that signal is limited by the tiny antenna inside the fob. Your body, specifically your head, is approximately 60% water. When you hold the key fob against your chin, the fluids in your skull act as what engineers call a dielectric resonator. The water in your head amplifies the radio wave signal being transmitted by the fob. Your skull essentially becomes an extension of the fob's antenna, boosting the signal strength significantly. This works for locking, unlocking, remote start if your truck is equipped, and the panic alarm. The practical applications are real. You might be on the third floor of a hotel and you cannot remember if you locked the truck. Hold the fob to your chin, press lock, and you just added enough range to reach your F-150 in the parking lot below. You might be walking through a massive stadium parking lot and you cannot find your truck. Hold the fob to your chin, hit the panic alarm, and the horn and lights will go off from much farther away than normal. Some F-150 owners report being able to lock and unlock from over 80 feet using this technique, compared to about 30 to 50 feet normally. The increase varies depending on environmental factors, but the difference is real and repeatable. There is no risk to your health and no risk to the fob. You are simply using your body's natural water content to amplify a low-power radio signal. It is the same principle behind certain antenna designs that use water-based elements to boost signal strength. This trick works on every vehicle brand with a radio frequency key fob, but it is particularly useful on F-150s because these trucks are often parked in large lots, job sites, and open areas where you need every bit of extra range you can get. If you are enjoying these F-150 key fob secrets, go ahead and hit that like button now and make sure you are subscribed because we are about to reveal the tricks that can protect your family and save you serious money in security features you are already paying for but probably have not activated. Programming MyKey to protect teen drivers and restrict vehicle use. This is the #1 key fob trick that virtually no F-150 owner uses, and it is one of the most powerful safety features Ford has ever built into these trucks. MyKey is a system that lets you program specific key fobs with driving restrictions, speed limits, volume caps, forced safety features. All of it is controlled by which key starts the vehicle. Ford has included MyKey on most F-150 models since 2010, and it was designed specifically to give parents peace of mind when handing the truck keys to a teenage driver. Here is what MyKey can do. You can set a maximum speed limit of 65, 70, 75, or 80 miles per hour. The truck physically will not exceed whatever speed you program, and the driver cannot override it. The system also chimes audible warnings at 45, 55, and 65 miles per hour to remind the driver they are approaching restricted zones. You can limit the audio system volume to 44% of maximum. This prevents your teenager from cranking the stereo so loud they cannot hear emergency vehicles, horns, or other critical sounds. MyKey forces the seatbelt reminder system to stay active permanently. It mutes the entire audio system until both front seat occupants buckle up. There's no way to bypass this with a MyKey active. The system triggers a low fuel warning at 75 miles to empty instead of the standard 50 miles. This gives an inexperienced driver more time and distance to find a gas station before running out. MyKey prevents the driver from turning off critical safety systems, including the blind spot monitoring, cross-traffic alert, parking aid sensors, and the stability control system. These features stay locked in the on position regardless of what the driver tries to do through the menus. For F-150s equipped with satellite radio, MyKey can block all channels labeled as explicit content by the satellite radio provider. Programming MyKey takes about 2 minutes. You need 2 key fobs for the system to work. One becomes the restricted MyKey, and the other remains the administrator key with full access. Start the vehicle with the key you want to restrict. Navigate to the settings menu on your touchscreen. Select MyKey, then select Create MyKey. Press and hold the OK button until the system confirms the key has been programmed. The restrictions activate the next time the vehicle is started with that specific key. When you use the unrestricted administrator key, none of the limitations apply. The vehicle operates completely normally. You can drive to work all day without restrictions using your admin key, then hand the MyKey to your teenager in the evening and know the truck will not exceed 65 miles per hour, the stereo will not blast at full volume, and every safety system stays active. You can clear or modify MyKey settings at any time using the administrator key. Navigate to the same MyKey menu, select Clear MyKey, and press and hold OK until the system confirms all restrictions have been removed. The keys revert to normal admin status. One critical thing to know: if you lose the administrator key and only have the MyKey, you are stuck with the restrictions until you get a new admin key programmed. This has caught many F-150 owners off guard, especially those who bought their truck used and only received one key fob. If your F-150 has a speed limiter active and you did not set it, the previous owner likely programmed a MyKey and you ended up with the restricted fob. A Ford dealership can reprogram your keys to clear MyKey settings, though they may charge a fee for the service. Some independent locksmiths with the right diagnostic equipment can also handle this. MyKey is not just for parents with teenage drivers. Fleet managers use it to control company truck speeds and prevent misuse. Owners who lend their F-150 to friends or family members use it for peace of mind. It is also useful if you are selling the truck privately and want to limit test drive speeds. This single feature can prevent accidents, reduce insurance claims, and potentially save lives. Ford includes it on almost every modern F-150, yet the vast majority of owners have never even opened the MyKey menu once. The system works silently in the background. The restricted driver sees no obvious indication that MyKey is active other than the speed and volume limitations. There is no dashboard warning that says restricted mode or anything similar. The truck simply behaves within the parameters you set, replacing your key fob battery the right way. This is not technically a hidden trick, but doing it wrong is costing F-150 owners hundreds of dollars they do not need to spend. Here's what happens. The dealership charges $15 to $30 for a battery replacement. Some dealers push harder and convince you that you need an entirely new key fob, which can run $150 to over $600 depending on the model. The truth is, replacing your F-150 key fob battery is a 5-minute job that requires a replacement battery costing $3 to $6 and absolutely no special tools. The critical detail most people get wrong is buying the correct battery. Ford uses different battery types depending on your F-150 model year and key fob style. Older flip key style fobs from roughly 2009 to 2014 typically use a CR232 battery. Newer intelligent access smart key fobs from approximately 2015 and newer usually require a CR2450 battery, which is physically larger and thicker. Some model years use two CR2025 batteries stacked inside. Buying the wrong battery type is the #1 mistake. A CR232 is too thin for a slot designed for a CR2450 and will not make proper contact with the terminals. The fob will appear dead even though you just put in a fresh battery. The easiest way to identify the correct battery is to open the fob and look at the markings on the old battery before you buy a replacement. Here's the replacement process. Find the small release button or sliding tab on the back of your key fob. Press or slide it and pull out the hidden metal key blade. Look for a small notch or seam along the edge of the fob housing where the key blade was. Insert a thin flathead screwdriver, a coin, or the tip of the key blade itself into that notch and gently twist to pry the two halves of the housing apart. Note which direction the positive side of the old battery faces before you remove it. This is critical because installing the new battery upside down means the fob will not work. Drop in the new battery with the positive side facing the same direction. Snap the two halves of the housing back together and reinsert the key blade. Walk to your truck and test the lock, unlock, and remote start buttons. The entire process takes about 3 to 5 minutes. You do not need to reprogram the fob after a battery change. The fob retains all its programming, even with the battery removed. Ford key fob batteries typically last between 2 and 4 years, depending on usage. Fobs with intelligent access, which constantly communicate with the vehicle when you are nearby, tend to drain batteries faster than simpler keyless entry fobs. Keep a spare battery in your glove box. When the dashboard displays the low battery warning, you have a few weeks of remaining life, but do not push it. Stick with major brands like Energizer, Duracell, or Panasonic for replacement batteries. Off-brand coin cells may have inconsistent voltage or shorter shelf life. which means your new battery might not last as long as it should. The key fob features you are paying for but not using. Beyond the tricks we have already covered, your F-150 key fob has several more hidden capabilities that most owners overlook completely. The vehicle finder function works by pressing the lock button twice, quickly. Your F-150 chirps the horn and flashes the exterior lights, so you can locate it in a crowded parking lot. Simple but surprisingly useful when you can't remember which row you parked in at the stadium or the airport. Remote start, if your F-150 is equipped, works by pressing the lock button first, then pressing and holding the remote start button. That button is usually marked with a circular arrow or the notation 2X. The exterior lights flash twice to confirm the engine is started. Your truck runs for a preset period, typically about 10 to 15 minutes depending on your settings. The vehicle stays locked during remote start, so nobody can drive it without the key fob present. This feature is invaluable for warming up the engine on cold mornings, letting oil circulate through the engine before driving, or cooling down the cabin in summer. For F-150 owners with power folding mirrors, holding down the lock button for a few seconds on some models will automatically fold the side mirrors in. This protects your mirrors from damage in tight parking spaces, narrow garage entries, or any situation where those wide truck mirrors are vulnerable. The mirrors unfold when you unlock the truck. For the ultimate in key fob customization, you can change the unlock behavior using a button sequence on the fob itself. Press and hold both the lock and unlock buttons together until the lights flash 2 times. This toggles between 2 modes. In one mode, pressing unlock once opens only the driver's door, and pressing unlock twice opens all doors and the tailgate. In the other mode, a single press of unlock opens everything at once. Choose whichever option fits your daily routine. If you frequently have passengers, unlocking everything at once saves time. If security is more important because you want to get in first and check the interior before unlocking everything else, the single door mode is the better choice. Take 10 minutes this weekend and actually try each of these key fob features on your F-150. Open the fob and check your battery condition while you're at it. Explore the MyKey settings even if you do not have a teen driver right now. Familiarize yourself with the emergency start procedure so you are not learning it for the first time in a dark parking lot with a dead fob and a phone at 2% battery. If you found this valuable, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and drop a comment telling me which key fob trick you had no idea about. Share this video with any F-150 owner you know, because I guarantee most of them are driving around with no clue what that little device in their pocket can actually do. Now, if you want to discover more hidden features your F-150 has that Ford does not advertise, check out this video right here where I reveal 10 secrets most F-150 owners never find. I will see you in the next one.